This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute professional medical advice. Please consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare specialist before starting any new vitamins or supplements mentioned in this video. Use of this information is at your own risk. Doctors call it the silent collapse of the lower body. If you're over 60 and your legs feel heavy, you aren't just getting old. Your legs are starving for oxygen. Ignore these pins and needles for too long, and you are one step away from a catastrophic fall that could end your independence forever. But 2025 research has uncovered a hidden biological switch you can flip every morning with one specific drink. It's not exercise, and it's not beetroot. Stay with me, because if you don't fix the inner hose of your vascular system now, your legs might simply give out when you need them most. If you are over 60 and you've noticed that your legs feel more like heavy anchors than the limbs that used to carry you effortlessly through life, I need you to listen with every ounce of your attention. There is a silent, invisible decay happening beneath your skin that most people simply dismiss as getting older, but it is actually a ticking time bomb. Imagine for a moment that you are walking across your living room, perhaps going to greet a grandchild or simply heading to the kitchen, and suddenly your leg just refuses to respond. It feels numb, heavy, and disconnected. In that split second, your balance vanishes. The fall that follows isn't just a bruise or a scrape. For someone in our age group, a fractured hip or a shattered leg is often the beginning of a rapid, downward spiral toward total dependency. If your legs are cold, if they tingle like thousands of needles are crawling under your skin, or if you wake up at 2 a.m. with cramps so violent they leave you breathless, your body is not just aging. It is screaming at you that the foundation of your mobility is crumbling. If you do not address this blockage in your circulation now, you aren't just looking at discomfort. You are looking at the very real possibility of never walking unassisted again. Welcome to ElderFit Nutrition. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Our mission here is to provide you with the cutting-edge nutritional insights you need to reclaim your vitality and protect your future. If you find this information valuable and want to ensure you never miss a breakthrough that could save your mobility, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Your support gives us the strength and motivation to continue researching and creating these deep dive guides for our community. The tragedy of aging in our modern world is that we have been conditioned to accept decline as inevitable. We are told to just deal with it or take another pill that masks the symptoms without ever touching the cause. But there is a profound difference between a body that is naturally maturing and a body that is starving from the inside out. When the blood flow to your lower extremities is compromised, your muscles begin to atrophy, your nerves start to misfire, and your bone density suffers because the very nutrients required to maintain them cannot reach their destination. This is why a simple trip or a minor stumble becomes a life-altering catastrophe for those over 60. The heavy leg sensation is the final warning before the system fails. We are going to explore a research-backed morning ritual that acts as a lifeline for your vascular system. But before we get to the solution, I want you to truly reflect on where you stand. Before we move into the science of why this is happening to your body, I want to ask you a serious question to help you gauge your own situation. Please take a moment to think and then type your answer, either A or B, in the comment section below. It helps us understand your needs better and connects you with others in this community. When you feel that heaviness or coldness in your legs, what is your honest reaction? A, I believe it's just a normal part of getting older and there isn't much I can do about it. B, I recognize it as a critical warning signal from my body that requires immediate action to protect my mobility. The reason your legs feel like they are failing you has nothing to do with your willpower or your character. It has everything to do with a biological shutdown that occurs deep within your circulatory system once you pass the 6th decade of life. To understand this, you must stop thinking of your blood vessels as static pipes and start seeing them as living, breathing, and highly reactive corridors. When you were 30 or 40, these corridors were wide, smooth, and incredibly flexible. They could expand and contract in an instant, pushing warm, oxygen-rich blood down to the tiny capillaries in your toes with ease. But as we cross the age of 60, a quiet transformation takes place. The inner lining of these vessels, the endothelium, begins to lose its youthful elasticity. It becomes stiff, much like a garden hose that has been left out in the sun for too many seasons. As the walls harden, the passage through which your blood must travel becomes narrower and more resistant. This physical stiffening is only half of the problem. The true betrayal of the aging body is the dramatic decline in the production of a tiny, miraculous signaling molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the chemical messenger that tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. Think of it as the key that unlocks the door to healthy circulation. When you have an abundance of this signal, the doors stay wide open and your legs feel light, warm, and energized. However, research indicates that by the time we reach our 60s, our natural ability to produce nitric oxide can drop by more than half compared to our youth. Without this signal, your blood vessels stay in a perpetual state of semi-contraction. They are stuck in a narrow position. This is why no matter how much you try to walk or exercise, your feet might still feel like ice, or your calves might feel like they are being squeezed by an invisible vice. When the blood cannot flow freely, your lower legs are essentially living in a state of constant drought. Oxygen, the very fuel for your muscles, is delivered in drops rather than a steady stream. This oxygen deprivation is exactly what causes that haunting pins and needles sensation and the excruciating nighttime cramps. Your nerves are literally firing off distress signals because they are suffocating. It is a physiological bottleneck. This is not a condition that improves with rest. In fact, rest often makes it worse because the blood pools in your ankles, unable to fight gravity to get back to the heart. This stagnant blood causes swelling and further inflammation, creating a vicious cycle that further damages the vessel walls. Understanding this mechanism is the first step toward regaining control. You are not witnessing a random act of fate. You are witnessing a specific biological deficiency. The heaviness you feel is the physical weight of blood that is struggling to move and muscles that are starving for nourishment. But the most incredible thing about the human body is its responsiveness. Even at 60, 70, or 80, your vascular system is still capable of responding to the right nutritional inputs. The doors that have started to swing shut are not yet locked. By focusing on the specific compounds that restock your nitric oxide levels and reduce the inflammation that causes vessel stiffness, you can effectively begin to soften those hardened hoses and reestablish the flow. This is where the power of targeted nutrition shifts from a hobby to a necessity. We are about to look at the exact ingredients that 2025 research has shown can intervene in this process, providing the internal support your body can no longer produce on its own. Now that we understand the biological bottleneck that is starving your legs of the life-giving flow they deserve, we must turn our attention to the precise nutritional architecture required to rebuild that pathway. This is not about a cabinet full of expensive supplements or synthetic chemicals. It is about a specific synergy of 3 whole food ingredients that, when combined correctly, perform a function far greater than any of them could achieve alone. The heart of this morning tonic is pure, 100% pomegranate juice. The latest research from early 2026 confirms that pomegranate is not just another fruit. It is a vascular protector. It contains unique compounds called punicalagins that act as a shield for your nitric oxide. If nitric oxide is the fragile candle flame that keeps your blood vessels open, pomegranate is the glass jar that protects that flame from the winds of oxidative stress. By drinking just 6 ounces of this vibrant liquid, you are effectively signaling your vessels to stay relaxed and open for longer periods, allowing oxygen to reach those frozen, heavy areas of your feet. But we do not stop there. To this base, we add half a teaspoon of freshly grated ginger. Ginger acts as a natural relaxant for the smooth muscle tissues within your vessel walls. If pomegranate keeps the door open, ginger ensures the door frame itself is flexible and responsive. For those over 60 who struggle with that mid-afternoon swelling and puffiness, ginger's anti-inflammatory properties work quietly from the inside to reduce the internal pressure that causes fluid to pool in your ankles. Then we introduce the third pillar, turmeric. The active curcumin in turmeric is a master cleaner, helping to soothe the chronic, low-level inflammation that makes your arteries feel like stiff, rusted pipes. However, here is the critical secret that most people miss. Curcumin is notoriously difficult for the body to absorb. Without one tiny addition, the turmeric simply passes through you. By adding just 2 or 3 cracks of fresh black pepper, the piperine within the pepper increases the absorption of that healing curcumin by a staggering 2,000%. This tiny pinch is the master key that unlocks the entire formula. Finally, a squeeze of fresh lemon juice provides the vitamin C necessary to stabilize these compounds, while a touch of raw honey can soften the sharp edges of the ginger. You stir this mixture for 30 seconds, watching the deep red of the pomegranate blend with the golden hue of the turmeric. As you take your first sip each morning, you aren't just drinking a beverage. You are delivering a concentrated dose of vascular support directly to the system that needs it most. It is an act of deep respect for your body, costing less than $1 a day, but providing a wealth of biological benefits that drugs often fail to replicate. This is how we begin to turn the tide, one morning at a time, through the power of strategic, research-backed nutrition. While this morning tonic begins the work of healing your blood vessels from the inside, there is a way to instantly accelerate its delivery to your lower legs, and it requires nothing more than a few intentional movements while you drink. Most people do not realize that we actually have a second heart. It isn't located in our chest. It is located in our calf muscles. Every time your calf muscle contracts, it acts as a powerful pump, squeezing the deep veins and forcing blood to defy gravity and return to the heart. When you sit still for hours, this pump is dormant, leading to that stagnant, lead-heavy feeling in your shins. To activate this system, I want you to perform a simple ankle pump exercise as you enjoy your morning drink. As you sit comfortably, simply extend your legs and flex your feet toward your shins, then point your toes away from you as far as they will go. Repeat this 20 times. By doing this, you are manually engaging that calf pump, creating a vacuum effect that pulls the nutrient-rich blood from your morning tonic down through your thighs, past your knees, and into the very tips of your toes. This small habit is the perfect companion to your nutrition, but it is part of a larger philosophy of stacking small wins. To truly reclaim your mobility after 60, you must also look at the thickness of your blood itself. Imagine trying to pump thick molasses through a narrow straw versus pumping clean water. If you are even slightly dehydrated, your blood becomes viscous and difficult to move. This is why staying hydrated throughout the day is non-negotiable for anyone dealing with leg cramps or coldness. Furthermore, a brief 10-minute walk after your meals serves as a reset for your circulatory system, preventing the blood from pooling while your body is focused on digestion. And finally, when the day begins to wind down, give your legs the gift of elevation. Propping your feet up above the level of your heart for just 15 minutes in the late afternoon allows gravity to do the work for you, draining the accumulated fluid and giving your vessel walls a much-needed break from the pressure of standing. None of these actions, the ankle pumps, the hydration, or the elevation, are difficult on their own. But when you stack them on top of the chemical support of your morning tonic, you are creating an environment where your circulation has no choice but to improve. You are moving from a state of passive decline to a state of active restoration. You are giving your legs a fighting chance to feel light, warm, and capable once again. This is the holistic path to ensuring that your next 20 years are defined by movement and freedom rather than restriction and pain. I want to be entirely honest with you about the journey ahead, because at this stage of life, you deserve the truth more than you deserve a sales pitch. We live in a world that promises instant fixes and overnight miracles, but your body does not operate on a microwave timeline. The biological decay and the stiffening of your vessels that we've discussed did not happen in a single afternoon, and they will not be reversed by a single glass of this tonic. The 2025 research on pomegranate and vascular health was conducted over a period of 12 weeks. That is 90 days of consistent daily commitment before the data showed a meaningful shift in blood pressure and vessel responsiveness. This is your roadmap. Your goal is not to feel a transformation by the weekend. Your goal is simply to make the drink tomorrow morning and then the morning after that. If you approach this with the mindset of a quick fix, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. But if you approach this as a daily ritual of respect for your aging body, you will begin to notice the subtle shifts that signify a system coming back to life. Within the first few weeks, the changes will be quiet. You might realize one evening that your feet don't feel quite as icy as they did a month ago. You might find that you reached mid-afternoon without that overwhelming lead-heavy exhaustion in your calves. Perhaps you sleep through the night without that sudden jolting cramp that usually ruins your rest. These are not small things. They are the sounds of your vascular system reopening. This journey is about the cumulative power of small, research-backed choices. Beyond the morning drink, I urge you to look at your lifestyle not as a set of chores, but as a series of inputs. Every glass of water you drink, every 10-minute walk you take after dinner, and every moment you spend elevating your legs is a message to your body that you are still in the fight. You are not merely managing a decline. You are actively investing in your future mobility. This 90-day commitment is a pact between you and the version of yourself that wants to be walking, exploring, and living vibrantly 10 years from now. As we bring this conversation to a close, I want to leave you with a perspective that goes beyond nutrition and biology. There is a specific kind of quiet dignity in the act of taking care of yourself when the world tells you that your best years are behind you. Society often treats the over 60 community as if they are a finished book, but you and I know that this chapter is perhaps the most critical of all. The choices you make in your kitchen tomorrow morning are an act of rebellion against the idea that you have to accept pain and restriction as your new normal. We often spend our younger years taking our health for granted, treating our bodies like machines that will never break down. But as we age, the relationship changes. It becomes a partnership. Your body is no longer a silent servant. It is a sensitive, responsive companion that is constantly giving you feedback. The coldness, the heaviness, and the cramps are not punishments for getting older. They are requests for support. When you respond to those requests with the right nutritional inputs and the right movements, you are proving that the human spirit and the human body are resilient at any age. The most profound lesson we can draw from this is that responsiveness is a lifelong trait. Your vessels are not dead. They are merely waiting for the right signal to reopen. This teaches us that it is never too late to change the trajectory of our health. You do not need to be a marathon runner or a professional athlete to reclaim your vitality. You simply need to be a person who shows up for themselves consistently. This morning tonic is a symbol of that consistency. It represents the understanding that great changes are built from small, daily bricks. If you can commit to 3 minutes in the kitchen each morning, you are demonstrating a level of self-discipline and self-love that will ripple out into every other area of your life. You are taking the steering wheel back. You are deciding that your legs will carry you toward your goals, your family, and your passions for a long time to come. It is an honor to provide you with the tools to make that happen. Deep life lesson. Our bodies are not declining. They are communicating. The symptoms of aging are often just unmet needs. The lesson is that health is not a destination you reach, but a continuous conversation you have with your biology through the inputs you choose every single day. Practical application. Start tomorrow morning. Do not wait for a Monday or a new year. Prepare your ingredients tonight so that the friction of making the choice is removed. Pair the ritual of the drink with the ankle pumps we discussed to create a habit stack that ensures you never forget. Consistency beats intensity every single time. To help everyone in our community learn from each other, I have a quick question for you. Which of these circulation issues bothers you the most? The coldness in your feet, the heavy feeling during the day, or the cramps at night? Please share your experience in the comments below. Your perspective might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today to realize they aren't alone. If you found this guide helpful and want to stay updated on the latest research-backed strategies for senior health, please subscribe to ElderFit Nutrition. Your support allows us to keep digging into the science to bring you the truth about aging well. Take care of those legs. You still have many miles to go.